Hey boys and girls, and welcome to shorter attention what I was doing and things like that. Hopefully it helps you out, you know, hopefully. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Storytime with Uncle Mason, everybody's favorite weeknight TV program. Now, with all that being said, I just wanted to throw a couple things out there. There's a reason I've been really behind on all these videos, and that's because there's been a lot of really exciting stuff happening from my end, and it's basically been keeping me incredibly busy. So I've been stuck in sort of a loop for the past couple of weeks between finding everything good that's going on and finding a healthy balance of time to relax and actually come back to do, you know, basically come back to the roots I've got here. And, you know, I could complain. I could be complaining about the fact that I've got nothing but bad stuff going on or I'm getting in trouble all the time. But in all honesty, there's just so much going on in my life right now that if you guys have been trying to hang out with me, I do apologize. I am incredibly busy and I'm trying to find a healthy balance for that. So, with all that being said, I wanted to do a quick recap of all the exciting stuff that has been keeping me so incredibly busy. So, this past weekend, I had the absolute privilege of watching my best friend marry the love of his life, so Jeff Burden, Felicia Burden. Congratulations to both of y'all. I wish you guys a wonderful and happy marriage. You know, and I'm really looking forward to watching us all, you know, grow old together and watching our families interact together. It's going to be a great time. It was a beautiful ceremony, and I really was honored to be a part of that. So thank you for that. Week before that, I was at the Mission Continues orientation. Now, if you're a veteran that is looking to do good stuff in the community, the Mission Continues is a great program that'll get you involved with that. Basically, you find yourself a nonprofit, you find a problem that needs to be fixed in your town, your community, whatever, and they will pay you 6 months for an internship. You get about $1,000 a month to live on while you're doing this, and at the end of it, if you do a good enough job, 9 times out of 10, the nonprofit helps you out. So if you're looking for something, if you're looking for a purpose with your life after you transition out of the military, the Mission Continues is a great and healthy place for you to do that. I went and did their orientation 2 weeks ago. I started my fellowship at the PTSD Foundation of America last Monday, and quite honestly, this is the first time I've been excited for a job since I was in the Army. So a lot of good stuff that came out of that. Now, on to the more recent stuff with the PTSD Foundation of America and with Honor 22. So we did partner with them, so now we are expanding some of our own workouts to Honor 22. So every Monday and Friday, the PTSD Foundation of America and us are co-hosting workouts. So Monday morning at 9, we've got a run group. Friday morning at 9, we've got a bike group. And then, so this Wednesday, we're going to be taking a ruck march with Summit IDG and WHAM. And we're going to be meeting up at Taco Land at 6 o'clock. I think we're going to ruck about 6-7 miles there. We're trying to make that a weekly thing. I'm not entirely sure if that has been solidified yet, but I will let you know as soon as I do. So right there, that's 3 workouts during the week that I'm going to. And then, of course, you can't miss out on our 22 stuff. So this Friday, we're going to be doing a trail run out of Friedrich Park at 6:30. We're only going to be running a couple miles because EJ and I, this Sunday, are going to run our second Spartan race this year. So if you guys can notice, the past couple weeks, I've literally been go, 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 go. I haven't had a whole lot of downtime to myself. So I was actually, you know, today's the first day I've actually been able to come home and take care of some stuff back here at the house. And so, again, I could complain, I can bitch, whine, and moan about the fact that, like, oh, I'm so busy, I can't do anything, can't hang out with my friends. And yes, you know, it does suck that I'm not seeing you guys. I'm doing my best to free up some time as we speak. But in all honesty, there is a lot of really good stuff going on in my life, and I am just so thankful for all of that. I'm thankful for all the support and all the love I've gotten from just, you know, various organizations, friends, family, everybody. It's been a fantastic ride. And I think that is probably the best way to open up where we're going to talk about with, you know, Storytime with Uncle Mason and I, because we left off about 2 weeks ago with Chapter 5, How Do I Stand It? And the last thing that we talked about was how not to grieve. So now that you guys have had plenty of time to go over that, we're going to talk about how you should grieve. Now, again, Chapter 5 is basically going into explaining how you should understand grief, the different processes of grief, how to grieve, how not to grieve. There's a memorial project in there. So basically, this is the meat and potatoes. We already wrote, your life before, during, and after your trauma. Now we're going to figure out how to get past it. We're going to figure out how to become the best version of yourself possible. I will say this, it is a long process, so let's go ahead and get started on this book, shall we? Just a reminder, because it has been a while, we are using the book, the Combat Trauma Healing Manual. So if you want to pick one up, you can come by the foundation and pick one up for free, or you can order online. It's a really good book for both veterans, families, and first responders. It's a very, very good book that talks about PTSD and how to overcome your moral injury and re-establish a relationship with Christ. So, again, this is a faith-based book. With that being said, how to grieve. Be aware of the process. It is a process for sure, but it's not a precise process. Everyone will process their grief a bit differently from the next person. However, there are some generalized descriptions that are useful, kind of like milestones along your journey to let you know that you're making progress or not. Over unspecified periods of time, whatever process you are in your grief, you should go through these few stages here. Now, the grief cycle I put here on the Kubler-Ross grief cycle. So if you look over here, you've got your emotional response. Everything above the line is active, everything below the line is passive, and then of course time, over the course of however many time, it's an undetermined amount, will you get to the last stage. So the different stages of how to process your grief: you start off stable, and then your grief, your trauma happens, you become immobilized, you go through denial stage, anger, bargaining, depression, testing, and then finally acceptance. So these different stages, the immobilization stage is shock. It's initial paralysis after being exposed to the crisis or trauma. It takes a while for the enormity to register and sink in. Your jaw drops, can't catch your breath, can't decide what to do next. It's the literal first stage after your trauma. After that, you've got denial, where you're trying to avoid the inevitable, like, this can't be happening to me, it didn't affect me, it wasn't that bad, or even it never happened, you just imagined it. Next, you've got the anger stage, where you're frustrated, outpouring a bottle of emotions, your life sucks. You've got rage seething below the surface at all time. You're lashing out at anyone for the slightest reason, blaming others, sometimes cold, icy anger, and then finally self-isolating to avoid blowing up. The bargaining stage is seeking in vain for a way out, making promises to God if he'll fix things, setting conditions for healing, things like that. Then you've got the depression stage, which is the final realization of the inevitable. It's a very sad time, but also the most important turning point. Because the griever is finally resolved to the fact that he or she won't be able to restore life to the way it was. So this is the staging area for victory. This is where you decide to pull yourself out of that funk and find what it is about you that you want to get back in your life. Next, you've got the testing stage, which is seeking realistic solutions. Maybe trying to get out more, maybe I should talk with someone, maybe I should exercise, things like that. And then finally, acceptance. It's where you're finally finding the way forward. Now, they are now fully acknowledged the trauma was a crisis, it was bad, but you survived. I'm going to make it, the world changed, but I can live in this new world and conquer. So that is the entire Kubler-Ross grief cycle. Now, there was a question here, there's actually a couple questions for you kids keeping track at home. It says, after you've read the descriptions of the above stages, think about where you might presently be in the grief cycle and place an X on the appropriate place on the line. Now you've got two questions here. How do you feel about where you are in the process currently, and what do you think it's going to take to move you beyond your present stage? So again, if you're keeping track at home, take down this entire graph here and mark on there where you are, where you want to be, and think about how you're going to get to that point. Now, don't give into the temptation to compare your grief process with someone else's, because again, everybody grieves differently. Now, everybody also has different amounts of time for grief. You may think you're going to get over something very quickly, but honestly, it's probably going to take a lot longer than you like. But the best part about that is, if you process it fully, and if you process the grief and a tragedy for what it is, a tragedy, and find the best parts about yourself and find a way to move on with your life, ultimately you'll be able to look back on that moment as the moment that changed your life forever. Now back here, I put down 1.5 years. For me, it took a little over a year and a half for me to get from the initial shock of the trauma all the way to where I accepted things fully. And in between, all this stuff happened here. It happened at different stages. Some happened faster than others, some very slower than others. But it took me a grand total of 1.5 years to get to the acceptance stage, and I'm about 6 months past that now. So again, it can take, it's an undetermined amount of time, honestly. And I would really recommend that if you're going through grief, take as much time as you possibly need, because if you try to rush through it, all you're going to do is not process things fully, and you're going to prolong the process even further. So now, there was a little Bible verse here. I'm going to go ahead and read it. It says, blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of mercies and God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our afflictions, so that we will be able to comfort those who are in any affliction with the comfort with which we ourselves are comforted by God. Basically, that says, help yourself by helping others. Now, I'm not sure if you guys have noticed this or not. I've been doing a lot of stuff with veterans lately, and in all honesty, over the past 6 months, doing workouts on Honor 22, volunteering at the foundation, doing the Mission Continues program, and now actually up as a fellow at the foundation, the PTSD Foundation of America, I have to be honest, that has helped expedite this entire process more than anything. I went through the VA, I went through all the therapy stuff like that, but what has really helped me get to the point where I'm at now is not only accepting everything for it's happened, accepting the friendships and relationships I have in my life, and being very thankful for all of them. You know, getting to work out, getting back in shape, finding things I love to do again, but helping other people. That has been the biggest driver behind everything I've done up to this point. And quite honestly, I couldn't think of a better way to, you know, to help yourself by just putting yourself in other people's shoes and helping them out. So again, that's basically how to grieve in a nutshell. The key points to remember here: help yourself by helping others, take as much time as you need, process everything as fully as you can. Now, I'm going to try and free up some time coming up, but as you guys can tell, I've got a lot of stuff going on right now, a lot of very positive stuff. I could be up here again complaining about the fact that I'm bored at home all the time, or, you know, I keep getting arrested for doing random stuff. So I'm actually pretty happy with my life right now. I just got to find a balance. So with all that being said, I'm going to do something I haven't done here in about 2 weeks so I can get that balance back, and I'm going to knock out some push-ups with you guys. Okay, that felt good. So yeah, guys, thank you again, everybody, for the love, support. You know, trying to help me, you know, help me get to this point here. And I just ask that you guys continue to do so that way I can help other people out. Like I said, help yourself by helping others. So I'm glad we started off the week on a good note. Hopefully I will come out with another video either tonight or tomorrow, because I got a couple to catch up on. But admin stuff aside, it's very good to be back. I'm very happy I'm here. And in all honesty, you guys have a great night. I'll see you later.